It's a little bit like better hives and gardens, isn't it, instead of homes and gardens today. Anyway, we're going to go and have a look in this little newt box, and I think that needs rehousing too. Home among the gum trees with lots of plum trees. A hive or two, or a bee or three. Oh, honey out the back. It's supposed to be a clothesline, isn't it? Are they still alive in there? What's going on? Oh, don't tell me what's going on from here. Nope, friggin' hell, I think they're full, like I thought they were. Hang on, I'll go and get the smoker and we'll have a proper look. Oh my goodness. Oh! This might not be quite as straightforward as we thought, I don't think. Oh, damn it. Anyway, I'm a bit afeared that there might not be any frames in here. I'm hoping that they're just stuck to the lid, but I think it might be a bit more exciting than that. Oh man. I don't think it's much more exciting than just being stuck to the lid. Maybe we'll just go home now. Ah! Fuck it. Now what are you going to do, John? Okay. I think what we'll do is we'll move this out the way a little bit. We'll put our new box where we're going to end up. And I'm going to try and just smoke them off the... You know how we did that on that lid? I thought that worked quite well. So I reckon we're just going to clean this. Well, I've cleaned all these out, burnt them out and made a bit of a start. So I reckon instead of getting too excited, what we might do is we might actually just hang them in there and smoke them off the top. Well, they're all hanging from the roof. And I'm thinking rather than trying to pull them apart while all the bees are clustered up on their own little nest, we might sit them in our new box and we'll smoke them a little bit to scare them off of their hive, off of their comb, and then hopefully they'll run into the new box, and then we can take the old brood comb, put on some frames, sit in here, and then they'll all just, I guess, what do you call it? Assimilate? No, that's the wrong word, isn't it? Then hopefully they can all figure out this will be a nice new home to be in. That's the plan anyway. Anyway, so I reckon we'll give that a go. So I reckon if we just very gently get it out of the hive that it's in, and we'll just sit it in there for a minute until we figure out what we want to do. Oh, help! There's a couple of bees still in here. I think this was the lid once upon a time. We just smoked them up the edge. I think we're just going to tap what's in this box out the front here. That got them excited. I've got a good idea. I'm just going to go to a couple of frames with a bit of wax on, and if I smoke this side, they seem to be running to the side of the box. So hopefully, if I have a few frames there for them to hide in, they might get off of this honeycomb, and then we can sort that mess out. Oh, and then hopefully we'll have a nice straightened out excitement. That's a different way to put an air hole in your box. Hopefully they'll run in there and hide, because there's a fair few hiding on the side of the box already. So if we just get them in there and we just smoke them from this side, and we'll just start with seeing where our brood is. We'll make an executive decision about which bits we keep. They haven't got a lot of honey on board, so no need to get too excited about that. Of course, they're not terribly excited about this going on. Knocking some of this off of here, and we'll see where we're up to. They are pretty jolly clever though, aren't they? Making all these nice little blooming... It's no wonder Mr. Langsworth thought, well, I reckon we could actually blooming make that into nice straight lines. It's pretty good really, look at that. There's no wonder he thought that could work together. Have a nice straight line of bees. And we'll just hang them on some frames, that'll be a good idea. Stick them in a champagne box. I'm pretty sure it was a champagne box was the original, or I think it was a half crate or whatever it was they called them. It's about the, oh shit! Try not to drop everybody. Oh, come on, as he drops it again. God, blooming heck. That is a pretty big fold, that bit. So we might keep that bit, I reckon. We'll see how it looks when we take it off. That's my plan anyway. See how we get on. Be a bit gentle with everybody. So at least I had a couple of frames in the ute without foundation, so sometimes it pays to be slack or disorganised. Yeah, are you all in one big bit or what are you doing? Not that she's got the best laying pattern I've ever seen, but anyway, it doesn't matter. Just put that on there. And of course, we couldn't find the rubber bands, and then we were going to go to the jolly newsagents and buy some more, but none of that happened, so we're back to the primitive idea of just pushing it on the wires. If you're wondering what I'm talking about, reel back a few episodes and you'll find the rubber band idea that you can slip over the top of here and hold it all together. I wasn't actually planning on being a blooming rehousing exercise that involved not having any frames. So, mind you, I think, what is it, you're supposed to always be prepared? Oh hell, I was never much of a Boy Scout. I might take that little piece there, I reckon. Nah, there's nothing on that. Because you really just can't stay like this, ladies. It's just unacceptable. You've done a pretty good job though, at least you've gone in the right direction. Sometimes when you find a box like this, they've gone this way, or on an angle that way, and or whatever, but at least these guys are sort of, well, yeah, kind of organised. That makes life a bit easier. They always like to run uphill, of course, too. I suppose it would make logical sense. The high ground, get the heck away from everybody. Head for the hills. That's the saying, isn't it? It's pretty cool. They've got this little bend going on around the corner. Just went, whoop. Just a little S-bend, like if you're on the races. All right, I reckon we're going to put that lot on the next one. We're going to put this frame in there. Hopefully, they'll think, oh, that smells like us. I'm thinking of moving into a new home. Da, da, da. That's that other show, is Renovate or Vacate or something or other. You girls are getting a bit of both, because you've got to renovate, but you're not really vacating. Well, I hope you don't vacate. Oh, that'll be a bit pointless, won't it? You haven't got a lot of honey stores though. That might be a good thing, because honey always makes an awful mess when you do these projects. Cutouts and honey, you usually end up with a few drowned ladies. Hopefully we'll pull that off of there, we'll be all good. Hopefully, come on, you can do it. And of course now we go the other angle, of course we do. Yeah, great. That's just really convenient, that is. Golly gosh, girls. What are we going to do with you lot? You've done pretty good really without any direction. You've made a pretty easy job of it for me. You just got yourself distracted after a while, didn't you? And went on your own little merry way. Hopefully that stays up there without falling off, because we haven't got any way to hold it there other than just pushing it. It's always a bit surprising how many more bees there actually is than you think. Oh, there's some nice young larvae on this sheet, so we don't want to lose that either. Even though it is going the wrong way, we don't want the girls to lose all that work. I don't think there's a heck of a lot on this one, but we'll pop it in there anyway because it'll make them feel friendly. Just push this on here somehow. A little more complicated without a rubber band. Sorry. God. Ruth. I reckon that's going to have to be all right. They're not really impressed with us, but still, it is what it is. I'm just going to get some frames that do have some wax and put along here. Oh, then we'll try to tidy them all back together. Ow! Oh, what joy. Do they look like they're happily assimilating? Oh, golly gosh, this is a whole different version of Renovation Rescue. Oh, man, and then I didn't bring enough. One left. Oh, home among the gum trees. Oh, this is a long way down to kneel. Yeah, what do we got left here? Not too jolly much. Little bit of nectar sauces. Give this a little bit of a whack out the front. Don't think there's anybody on there that's important. Well, they're all important, but you know, levels of important when it comes to this job. If we bring a hammer, we can mend this little box. It's all sorts of trouble it's got going on. Because if we don't blooming put, we didn't. I don't know if we've actually brought enough frames with us. Otherwise, we'll be back in this next trouble next year. I think they sound alright. I don't think they're real happy with us, but still. I think that's going to be all right. We'll give them a little bit more space. Of course, it's not ideal, but it's much more ideal than no frames in this box. You just never know what you're going to find, do you? We could probably sit this stuff over here away from where they're really living, and hopefully they can just clean all that up. Either that or the ants will turn up and make a hell of a mess, which is probably more likely. This is why you don't want too much honey in your box, because you see the poor ladies, they get tangled up in it and it's no good to them. They are very resourceful though, they all lick each other clean, but still, best not to be doing that to them, it's not good. Flick her off into there, they can give her a bit of a lick up. So I think that's made my decision for me. We're not going to put any honey there. I'm going to put this little bit of brood up there though, so they can rear that out, because they're not over strong. So we might as well give them every advantage we possibly can, because this will give them a bit of a challenge to work out where they all are. Hopefully they'll be all good. Anyway, they can't stay in the box in that condition anyway. Groovy doovy doovy. There you go, we'll pop the lid on. And everybody should be safe as hives. Anyway, there we go. A little bit more complicated blooming nuke box revitalising. I've got one more to go over there, so hopefully that one's actually all good. Oh, thank you girls. Oh, help. I'm getting old, John. Oh, well, it's time for a little review here. Not that we've got a box to put this in, but when we were rehousing these gals, we had a few extras, so we thought we might make a little impromptu split. So I thought, well, while we're going past, we'll have a bit of a look, lift its head off, give her a bit of smoke under the hood. It's a bit of activity when we lift her up. Anyway, that's a good sign. Oh, golly, we better bring a box back for these ladies too. And we'll just have a bit of a poke around in here and see if anybody's laying some eggs. That's the hope that you live on. That they've raised a queen and it didn't get eaten by a magpie on the way home. Otherwise it sucks if they get eaten. If the queen gets eaten on the way back from a mating flight, then you've got to start all over again. Well, they've definitely got a bit of honey happening anyway, which is pretty standard. Everybody stay calm, all right? Ooh. Oh, here's the queen cell that they've ripped apart. So either she's hatched out of that one or got destroyed. I reckon, look at that, the queen that did hatch out's eaten into that and got rid of her opposition. We'll see if we can find the cell that she was in. Or that if she's in here being busy. Might be fractionally early for her to be laying yet anyway, but we'll see. Can we spot you? I spy a queen in the making. I think that's what's supposed to go on. I reckon that's where she's come out of, that one there, so can't see her here yet, but there's another wrecked one. They made a few queens. Where would my little queen be? Well, I can't actually see whether she's in here doing anything just yet, but I can see where the queen cells have hatched out. So as long as she's had a successful flight, we should be all good. Oh, here's another queen cell that they haven't actually wrecked yet. Ah, that's interesting. Maybe she didn't find that one. The ladies are just starting to break this queen cell up. So there must be an active queen in here somewhere, otherwise they wouldn't be up to that mischief. So we will assume that she's in here and she's just getting herself organised. She's probably just in the parlour getting her nails done. So she's going to look nice and pretty for a mating flight. Get the best suitors in the grounds. So we'll just pop everybody back together. Hopefully they won't know we've been here. Everything will be good. Come back in a week or two Next thing you know, these girls will need a new home like the rest of them. So we just got one more nuke to rehome into a proper box, and we're all done for the day, I reckon. Well, I'm done for the day. We've got to drive home yet, but anyway. Even though the turbo on the utes decided it doesn't want to work, that would be fun. Maybe I'll let John drive and I'll go to the pub.